All right. All right, welcome everyone to GoodChime's Google Hangout with Drew Brees. I'm Warren Smith, the General Manager for GoodChime. Congratulations to all those who got to appear live with Drew, and thank you all for those watching live on on our YouTube channel. Dr. Srita Puttarazu will be our moderator for today's events. He'll open the event up with a few questions. After that, we'll open it up to a few questions from fans. So with that, Srita, take it away.
Thanks, Warren. Glad to have you guys here today. It's an amazing honor to have Drew Brees. Obviously needs no introduction as the quarterback of the New Orleans Saints, but I will tell you, as a doctor and a person in the healthcare industry, I'm more humbled to have Drew on today for everything that he's done to make every one of us more inspired about taking care of our health. And he's been an amazing source of inspiration for kids and adults. So, Drew, welcome. Glad to have you on today.
Glad to be here.
And we're going to unmute Drew.
Yeah.
All right, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, now
perfect.
we're good.
All right.
Excellent.
Thank you very much. It's an honor to be on here, and I'm just looking forward to talking with everyone.
So it's a big weekend, Drew. So we're obviously going to talk a little bit about what's going on in New Orleans this weekend. You have a big charity fundraiser tonight. In addition to everything else you've done an amazing amount in terms of raising money for hurricane victims, and we'll get you to talk about that in a little bit. But I'm going to kick it off here. One of the things that's really amazed me is that you've headed up the President's Council on Physical Fitness, which is a huge deal, and so you've clearly had a big leadership position in the country about sort of evangelizing and about the importance of it. So if for everybody that's listening into that's going to see this in the future, what are the top 3 things that you would tell all the aspiring kids out there that see themselves as a star quarterback a few years from now, about what they need to do about their health?
Sure. Well, the first thing I'd say is we all have aspirations, or many, I think, kids who play sports have aspirations of playing it at the next level, certainly the pro level. I know ever since I was a little kid and started playing sports, all I could dream about was being a professional baseball player, football player, what have you. But I think something my parents always instilled in me, and the thing that I always tell kids is, your education is priority number 1, and obviously taking care of your health is certainly right there along with that. We can only play our sport for so long, and then eventually you got to go out and get a real job to have an education to fall back on. And to be honest with you, when I came out of high school, I was only recruited by 2 colleges. It was Purdue and Kentucky, and I chose Purdue University based upon its academic reputation priority number 1, because I really didn't think that football would take me anywhere. I loved playing it. I enjoyed it, but I was thinking, where can I go to get the best education to prepare me for life after college? I've been lucky and blessed enough to be able to play 12 years in the league. Hopefully I've got quite a few more good years left. But then after that, I plan on using that Purdue degree. In regards to kids just learning how to live a healthy lifestyle, I think you have to start that at the youngest age possible, and I think it starts with certainly exercise and the way you eat and just the way that you take care of yourself. The message that has really kind of resonated from the Play 60 campaign, NFL's Play 60 campaign, the President's Council on Fitness, Sports, and Nutrition, as well as I'm working with Connect for Xbox 360 on a campaign as well called the 60 Million Minutes Challenge. But basically, they all incorporate the same philosophy, and that is that kids should be getting out every day and getting 60 minutes of exercise. And that could just be running around the playground with friends. That could be, hiking, biking, swimming. That could be playing sports. That could also be, as I know, I understand, for those of you who live up in the north, hey, it might be, 8 degrees outside right now, or it gets dark at 4:30 in the afternoon. So you have the opportunity to get outside and do those things. Well, there's the interactive gaming phenomenon of kind of getting up off your couch and playing those interactive games with your family, your friends, or whatever. Those are also good ways to stay in shape. And get that 60 minutes of exercise every day. And also just paying attention to your diet. Obviously, we've become probably too much of a fast food culture.
Yeah.
It's okay to splurge every now and then, but really the message I always give to people is everything in moderation. And certainly with kids, I think you want to expose them to, you know, every food that you can, because you want them to be able to kind of be able to rotate, but also focus on, really the types of foods that are good for them. We work through the President's Council with um, school districts and the school system in regards to what are we providing for our kids in schools, to eat, because you got to be able to provide them with healthy alternatives and that kind of thing. You're not just, stocking the vending machines with food that's not good for them. So there's a lot of kind of issues that are out there, things that we're trying to tackle every day. But certainly, just I think the message to kids is, everything in moderation as far as what you eat. Um, you know, but then the 60 minutes a day exercise that come in a lot of different forms. Let's get out and do that, and let's kind of create this healthy culture moving forward.
What, the toughest thing for some of these kids, as you well know, and even for adults, for any of us, is, we do it for a while, and then we fizzle out. And it's really hard to be consistent. And one of the things that's always amazed me is what, people like you have been so disciplined about, in terms of, being at it and not letting up. What does it take? What is that spark that inspires you to, of course, other than being the quarterback of the New Orleans Saints, but, on a day-to-day, what is it that's that needs to be within somebody to want to keep at it?
I feel, first of all, I feel like the position I'm in, I'm so blessed to be in this position. And really, I feel like I'm the product of just being surrounded by so many great people, throughout my life. And I have so many mentors, people that have helped guide me, through tough times and help me overcome things. And, people that I still, am in contact with today, just continuing to try to, be the best that I can be kind of in every facet of life, not just as a football player, but just understanding the opportunity that I have and the platform that I have as a professional athlete. Obviously, especially within professional football in the NFL. I mean, it's kind of become America's game. It's the most watched game on television. It's when you take the helmet off, people listen to you, they recognize you, they see you as a role model. And so I think we all as athletes need to embrace that and utilize that for the greater good. What impact can we make in our communities based upon the fact that we have this sphere of influence?
Right.
That's why through our foundation we've tried to make the impact that we've been able to make. And honestly, just every chance I get to, as I walk down the street and I see a kid who I can tell kind of looks at me, recognizes me, wants to talk. I mean, I try to always reach out and kind of connect with them on their level and shake their hand and say, hey buddy, how you doing?
Right.
What are you up to? And usually that sparks all kinds of conversation. But just in a lot of cases, there's so many people out there that they just want to know that you care about them, and that there's somebody that cares about them and wants to help them and wants to see them succeed. And so that's really, I think, my mentality each and every day is I want to wake up, I want to be the best football player I can be, because I understand how that affects my ability to impact the community and impact people around me.
If you had to pick one athlete in any sport that you'd say, geez, that person's like in an amazing shape or amazing physical ability, who would that be?
Oh man, I mean, there's so many,
Just pick one.
Pick one athlete. Like, I think everybody looks at LeBron James, for example, and it's just like, this guy is a freak in nature. That strong, jump that high, score that many points.
He is amazing.
So if we're just talking just physically being just more dominant than everybody else, you probably have to say that guy.
All right, that's decent. So if I was going to go to your kitchen, what are the three things that I would find in your refrigerator, no matter what, that were healthy?
All right, I can say this: we're actually allergic to milk, my wife and I.
Okay.
Really most dairy products. So we've kind of had to be creative to find alternatives to that, because milk is used so much in when you cook and just with everything. When you eat cereal in the morning, you name it. So finding alternatives like coconut milk, for example, that almond milk. Those are things that you open up the refrigerator, you're going to see that. You're going to see coconut milk creamer, for our coffee.
Wow, I never heard about that.
You're always going to see tons and tons of fruit because we have 3 little boys, and they eat fruit for every meal. Sometimes that's all they eat.
That's amazing. Really?
That's better than the alternative.
I don't know if I could survive in your house.
What's that?
I don't know if I could survive in your house.
Right. Fruit and coconut milk. Yeah. And there's always bacon. There's always bacon. Yeah. I threw that out there thinking that maybe that would help you survive in our house. Bacon, fruit, and coconut milk. There you go.
Fair enough. All right, I got one last question, and we're going to hand it over to the other guys, to other folks on our hangout today to be able to ask you. But if you were to pick 3 qualities that you think are the most important for people to succeed, what would they be? That any human being that really chooses to excel to the level that that you have in your life, in football and in other things, what would they be?
The first thing I'd say is you've got to have courage. The ability to overcome adversity. Because I'd say every person that has reached some level of success in their life, no matter what it is, whether it's an athlete or a doctor, a lawyer. Sorry, phone's ringing.
You can get that if you need to.
Any person who's reached a certain level of success, no matter what they do, at some point, during their journey, I'm sure was told that they weren't going to be able to make it, or something happened that easily could have deterred them from their goal, and yet it was their resolve and their resiliency and their stick-to-itiveness that allowed them to overcome, those odds. And certainly that takes a lot of courage. Work ethic. What I always say, in regards to when people ask me about leadership and ask me about, my routine throughout the week and that kind of thing with guys, is I always say you can never ask somebody, and I'm talking about our teammates, but it might be your coworkers or family members, whatever. You can never ask somebody to do something that you wouldn't be willing to do yourself.
Yeah.
So when you show that you're gonna practice what you preach, when you have that work ethic to succeed, and you're gonna stop at nothing to do it the right way, then people respond to that, and obviously that allows you to be very successful. The other thing I'd say is gratitude. Be grateful. Be grateful. Be humble for the opportunity that you've been given. Too many people, I think, when they reach a certain level of success, feel entitled.
Yeah.
Like, I'm supposed to be here. I was meant to be here, and I don't look to anybody, to share that. But I feel like to whom much is given, much is required. And so for those that do reach that level of success, have an attitude of gratitude. Be thankful for being in that position, and then give back, because I think there's so much of a reward in giving back and being humble and spreading the credit around to your teammates, your coworkers, those around.
Well, it's really been amazing what you've done in your life with that, and you're just a tremendous example. I'm going to open it up now to, I know, these other folks who want me to stop talking.
I think
I'm going to ask you some questions.
I think Jay's up first. Jay?
Hey, Drew, who dat?
Who dat? Jay, you're up in Pennsylvania, man.
I am in Pennsylvania, surrounded by Eagles and Steelers, and it's been a diehard Saints fan for 40-plus years.
Nice. Awesome.
I'm sitting in my man cave here. You can see the Who Dat Nation flag behind me. I have a ton of stuff in here. One of the things that I just got recently was the program from your high school state championship football game.
How'd you track that down?
My wife found that for me for Christmas, brother. Don't ask me how.
Put it up on the screen.
That's unbelievable.
That's awesome.
How well you?
What? All right. Does it say who we played on there?
It sure does. It says that you played the Abilene Cooper Cougars in Texas Stadium on December 21st, 1996.
Did you win that game?
They won that game.
We won 55-15.
Oh my God!
But believe it or not, it was 7-7 at halftime.
Wow.
So we kind of blew it out in the second half there.
I saw you're listed in there not only as quarterback but as safety too. You know.
Yeah,
That's-
well, I didn't play any safety in that game, nor the entire season.
My question for you real quick is if you could go back in time to that period and give yourself any advice, any one piece of advice for your future, what would it have been?
Wow, that's a good question. You know, I'd probably go back to some of the advice that I gave just in regards to being successful. You know, what does it take to be successful? And once you reach that level of success, how do you approach things from there? And that is, make sure you're grateful. You know, make sure you're humble. Make sure people around you that help you get there know how much you appreciate the opportunities that they allowed for you to get there, and share that. You know, but certainly just be grateful for that.
Awesome answer. Thank you.
Yeah.
Cool. Amina?
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Amina's
So-
got home field advantage.
Yeah. I
Well,
like it.
I'm originally from California, though, so
Oh, you are? That's all right.
yeah.
You're
I go to school at Loyola, so I'm kind of like, all right.
Yeah, you're New Orleans girl now. It'll
Yeah.
get in your blood really quickly.
Actually, my question is about New Orleans because I know you've done like a lot of community service since you've been out here, and I was watching interviews, and you were saying how like the people and just the city in general is what made you go to the Saints in the first place because they were kind of like a bad team till you showed up. But my question is, what's your favorite thing about living in New Orleans aside from all the food and all of that? Like, why are you staying here still?
Yeah. It's hard to narrow it down to one thing. I would say I love the people here. I love the vibe. You know, I love the culture that's created here in New Orleans. You know, it seems like so many people in New Orleans are from New Orleans that their families have been here for generations and generations, and they're never going to leave. You know, just because they take so much pride in this community. And I think it's one of the main reasons why New Orleans was able to rebuild so successfully, you know, under great odds after Katrina, is that people didn't give themselves any other choice. You know, we've been here our entire lives. Our parents grew up here, our grandparents, our great grandparents. You know, this is all we know. You know, and we're gonna bring the city back better than it ever has been before. And so I just think that attitude was really what allowed New Orleans to come back the way it has. And so I'd say definitely the people. I'd say, you know, little things like I love driving down St. Charles and seeing the big beautiful oak trees and the streetcars passing by. I love taking our kids to Audubon Park or to the Audubon Zoo, or taking them downtown to the Children's Museum or the aquarium. Kind of watching the barges go up and down the Mississippi River. You know, I mean, I think that's unique. I mean, you're talking about one of the biggest rivers in the world, and you know, you're watching just the barges go up and down, and just imagining, you know, that's really how New Orleans was formed into this great city, was because it, you know, it was a port town. You know, it's one of the biggest ports in the world. So the French Quarter, of course, you know, you walk down there, you see the architecture, you know, you feel the charm of it all. You hear the stories. Just a lot of history in this town, and it gives you great pride to live here and to be a part of that.
Cool. Oops. Jasmine, you want to ask your question? Hello.
How do you come up with your pregame chant and who sings the song?
All right, Houston by way of New Orleans. So did y'all move to Houston?
Yeah, we're from New Orleans, and after Katrina, we came to Houston, and we just stayed.
I got you. So how did I come up with the chant? All right, well, so we've done the chant since 2008, And every year it's a little bit different. We have to find our inspiration for that season. So as I recall, in 2008, the chant kind of started off what really originated from the movie 300. I don't know, for those of you that have seen the movie.
I love that movie. That's my favorite.
Yeah, it's about the Battle of Thermopylae. 300 Spartan warriors basically kind of fought off about 2 million Persians for as long as they could before they were finally overtaken. But it basically, against great odds, they just continued to fight and fight and fight. And so just kind of that mentality of, we're warriors and, we're going out there to accomplish something. And so before that 2008 season, I felt like that was kind of a turning point for us as a team, and we needed to shake things up. We needed to kind of provide ourselves with something before the game that would just get us hyped up. And so the inspiration for that came from 300. That movie had just come out. All the guys, loved it, and so we went with that. And then for the 2009 season, that chant came from. I actually had a chance to train with the Marines at Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, that summer, and one morning we got up and we were just doing Marine PT, and we were running about 5 miles, kind of in formation at like 5 in the morning, and a Marine Corps corporal would kind of get off to the side and he would start barking out cadence, and you'd repeat after him as you'd be jogging along. And so, I thought that was the coolest thing ever, but a set of cadence came up that just really resonated with me, and I thought, man, the team is going to love this. So brought it back to the team, and that became our 2009 chant. Then, 2010, we kind of took some words and phrases that were important to us,